For the most realistic steering system available on the market, look no further than Sim Steering from Leo Bodnar. Designed and hand-built at the home of British Motorsport's Silverstone circuit, it's extensively used by professional driver training centres and race teams including Formula 1 since 2010. The high precision and completely linear response coupled with high strength provides the ultimate in realistic steering force feedback. Visit simsteering.com.
There are your champions for World Sport Series 2015. Walk
Racing certainly almost walked it this weekend.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Virtual Endurance Championship. The penultimate qualifying of the season is about to get underway for LMP1, and alongside me, back from missing the last couple of rounds, is Oscar Hardwick. Hello, Oscar.
Hello.
We're here at
returned.
Nurburgring, probably your favourite circuit on the calendar, right?
I like the Nurburgring as a circuit.
Yeah. Either way, it's what you may notice on the broadcast is that it is very, very wet at the moment. Now, we're not sure whose hand this is going to play into. Of course, the last wet qualifying session we had was back at Spa, I believe, where the number 8 car took pole position. So we'd be looking for them to be pretty high up. It's Lars Brugman qualifying that car as well. We'll go through who's qualifying what as the session progresses. But this will be the last qualifying session of the season, potentially, with this qualifying format where we do 25 minutes for each. And yeah, we're quite excited because we have some good wet qualifying sessions this season, don't we, Oscar? We have some ones that really do spice up towards the end.
Yeah, they tend to be the sessions where there's a shower in the middle. With a shower in the middle, you tend to just get that bit at the end where the track's a bit faster than it was at the beginning, but with everything at stakes when you go offline, you spin. So there's that difficulty. Today, with the fact that it's raining so heavily and persistently, I'm expecting what you're actually going to see is probably the first couple of laps be the quickest, and then things really just evolve into a testing session for people, mostly irrelevant running. The fastest laps will be set early on. However, that puts a lot of pressure on people to A, get out of pit lane, and then also to get the lap done straight away. So I mean, we're going to have a very entertaining 5 minutes and then probably another 20 of chatting about people just dawdling around, not going much quicker.
Well, give us enough time to talk about random stuff, Oscar. Don't worry. Of course, you're in the car. In a bit, about half an hour's time, you'll be in the car doing qualifying for LMP2. The cars obviously are all very different. The LMP1's very different to the LMP2s, and this will affect the GTMs and GT Pros differently as well. But what does the rain do to the car? Like, does it make it more oversteery, more understeery? How does it affect the balance of the car? Of course, you have to change setup a lot, but you understand the point.
Well, the way that I've described the effect of the rain is that whatever handling characteristic your car has, predominantly, will be exaggerated. So if you've got a setup that understeers, you'll start understeering more. And if you've got a setup that snap oversteers but it's neutral, it'll be quite good. But when it snap oversteers, it will be going round on you. So it's quite a difficult one to judge. I'm sure that you'll be seeing people putting more wing on compared to race setups or setups that they're produced in the dry. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But like I say, it's going to all be about this first 5 minutes, whilst the track is just ever so slightly drier at the start.
Yeah, we'll see how the rain progresses as the session goes on, because we're honestly not really sure what is exactly going to happen. It is very possible that it will start out in a slightly more damp scenario and will progressively get more wet. We're not really sure what will happen, but all we know is that qualifying is now underway for LMP1, and they'll have to head their way around the 16-turn circuit before they can actually start their lap. We do have a few exceptions for the white line rules. They're on the exit of corners, and they'll be on the exit of turn 7, which is the right-hander as you go downhill. We'll get to that one in a bit. You got turn 8, which is the Dunlop curve, the hairpin. Turn 11 and 12, which is the left-right before you go onto the back straight, and then the exit of turn 15, which is the final chicane. We're running the is this the layout they're running WEC? It's not the GP layout.
It's definitely the layout that they run in the Blank Pond
Yeah,
race
I'm not sure if
at the end of their
this
season.
I'm pretty sure they run this in WEC.
Yeah, it would make sense to. I mean, they might run it with the GP chicane, but that strikes me as a dangerous proposition.
Yeah. Now, looking at this now, I don't have any readout telling me whether it's raining or not, but I will tell you this. The rain seems to be certainly not raining at the moment. No, there is a bit of rain.
Yeah, I
There is a
can
bit of
see rain.
Correction,
I can
I can
see
see rain. Yeah, but it's not. It's certainly not as heavy as it was.
These guys probably want to double up on their quality fuel and just go out and do laps at the moment. Because you don't know, like, if you get the optimum lap, even with 1 tyres, it's the optimum lap. So
Yeah.
you need to be out there. That's always the danger. As soon as you go back to pit lane, what you've got to remember is you're not just losing that lap, you're losing the whole out lap's worth of time when you might be hitting those optimum conditions. And it's just about doing lap after lap after lap and getting it done.
Absolutely. Slight worries for Brugman and Matsatenta, who have only really just come out of the pit lane. They're going through the Mercedes arena section now. Brugman's coming down towards turn 6. That won't be too much of a worry as long as it doesn't rain heavily whilst everyone's completing the laps. Because if it does rain heavily whilst they're towards the end of a lap, whilst everyone's completed them, that is going to cause big problems for the number 8 DHR team and the number 68 Texas drivers. But either way, they are under qualifying conditions. I believe Vasquez has been off the road down at turn 1. He has indeed. So troubles there. This is the important conditions. Oscar was saying about this a bit earlier. You need to make sure these laps count, right? There's a lot of pressure on these drivers right now to make sure that these laps count in case it rains later on in the session.
Yeah, one thing I'd say that's very important is to let yourself lose 4 tenths to confirm that you're staying within the track limits where you need to be. It's worth dropping that half a second and staying on the circuit than pushing it now and falling off. As in the chat, we've actually had Stephen Bailey say that if the rain is as it is at the moment, the times are actually going to be improving through the session.
Which is excellent for us. That's what we want to see.
Something to talk about, right?
Exactly. These are the sessions that I love commentating on because it's the ones that really, really spice up, and you've got that final lap dash. As Vasquez is all over the place. These conditions are very, very tricky. You'll have people running low TCS. Some people running medium, dependent on which torque splits they're running. Medium's a bit restricting for some of these boys, but
required in later sessions. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah.
As soon as you go to rear-wheel drive, it's just put the medium on.
Absolutely, yeah. With these, it kind of a lot of these LMP1s are relying on the brunt of the front-wheel drive power as well to pull them out of the corner, as well as just the rear-wheel drive to push. Currently, though, it is your previous race winner, Yuri Kazdorp, in that Revolution. They obviously won back in Istanbul by default over Feeder Sport, of course. They've just been dropped down to second by Martin Thurman, who is in the 3Y car, of course, the pole position car back at Istanbul, involved in incidents. I think they've got plenty of penalties for it. But yeah, Yuri Kazdorp currently in second, Robin de Jong in third, Nathaniel Lupson in fourth. That's a good start for him. Of course, it's a few drivers that are yet to set a time. Then it's Luca Radielli rounding out your top 5. Of course, this session is going to get absolutely nuts, provided the weather stays as it is.
Yes, and Thurman quite a bit quicker than everyone at the moment. Like, he's gone and done that lap you need to do at the beginning of the session. Like, a 1:48.2 is going to be competitive to the end, I would suspect. Like, he's already done a time that I think will leave him in the top 10.
Well, we shall see. Either way, that team, this 3Y car, of course, we were talking about this last time, that they're in a close fight currently with RGPL for third. RGPL currently do hold third, as they were the winners of Room 2. A difficult feat that might be, as Lars Brugman now moves himself up into provisional pole position on a 48.144. But 3 wide are currently outside of that top 3. So it's now RGPL that are one of the free pass cars, currently being qualified by Berenek. Valentino Mazzatenta moves up into 3rd. That was one of the people, along with Brugman, that were staying in the pit lane fairly late, so it's worked out for them. But yeah, that 3 wide car is not a confirmation into Room 1. They do need to qualify their way into it. Of course, alongside 3 wide. It's 3 wide, the DHR number 8 car. Not 3 wide, sorry, it's Feeder Sport, the number 8 DHR car, and RGPL that are your free pass cars into Room 1. Of course, that all changes up at Le Mans anyway, so there'll be the last time that format remains.
For Le Mans, just make sure you're in the top 10 and wing it.
Basically, yeah. So it'll be very important for some of these boys that want to move themselves up into that top 10 in the standings, of course, because Le Mans is going to be very important to be in the top 10 in the standings. Now, some teams will play this one way, other teams will play this the other way. Some teams that may not be super competitive in Room 1 might on purposely flunk this qualifying session to put themselves in Room 2.
Absolutely.
To basically, if they're quite close to that 10th position, because then what they'll do is they will hopefully, in their plan, win Room 2, meaning they'll score 25 points, which is the same points as P2 in Room 1, thus confirming themselves up into a top 10 position, which will be so important. At Le Mans, everyone wants to be in Room 1. Right, Oscar?
Yeah, if I'm the 11th place car in the championship at the moment, I go out, do a 3-minute lap, and call it quits.
It's absolutely what I did as well. Or you could submit a slower time, submit a time with cutting it, however you want to play the system.
Cut every corner.
Cut every corner.
Time.
Yeah.
It's entertainment
Is this
value,
like
certainly.
what you did at Croft, mate?
Only when the front end fell off, yes.
Mate. I'm joking,
Only when
mate.
the front end fell off.
I'm only trying to fire some shots. It's okay.
Fire some shots. I'm saving mine for later.
Either way, it's Lars Brugman currently has moved himself a bit faster on provisional pole position on a 46.980. Nearly a second clear of the Texas driver's car of Mazzatenta. That is really impressive, considering everyone's still on the same track, although it's drying up. Berenek now moves himself up into 2nd. Who's that? It's De Jong that's moved himself up into 5th. It's Nikodem Wisniewski that's moved himself up into 2nd. So, yeah, everyone's just starting to improve as I'm talking. Cool.
That's the idea. It means that we've always got someone to talk about, particularly around the cut-off point. Only 15 LMP1 cars on the circuit at the moment, and Nathaniel Lutsen currently filling that 10th place spot. I also believe that all 3 of the, shall we call them, free pass cars currently comfortably inside the top 10.
Yes, yeah, all 3 are there. Actually, all in the top 5. Currently 1st, 3rd, and 5th at this present moment in time. It looks like Berenek and Mazzatenta is just sitting in the pit lane, having a bit of a break, weighing up the session as it is. It's kind of not something you want to do for too long, of course, with the consistent changing conditions. You need to be out there on track as long as possible.
Yeah, you need to be out there.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why. I mean, unless he's getting a drink, going to the loo, there's no reason to be in pit lane at all.
Absolutely. As I say, with conditions like this, you were talking about it a little bit earlier, what you really kind of possibly should do as... no, that wasn't an improvement. I just thought I saw one. Is go out
Lars is on a hot lap.
A larger tank. Yeah, he's just on a 45.6. He's nearly 2 seconds clear of P2, his teammate, Nathaniel Lupson, in the number 9 car. But yeah, it's fill up on quite a large tank and go out on that and just keep doing laps. These wet tyres do drop off quite aggressively, but as long as you pit halfway through the session, replace the tyres, boom, go out again, that's actually a really ideal way of doing this kind of qualifying.
It absolutely is. Thinking back now to Spa, which is the last time we had conditions similar to this in a qualifying session, and the strategy was go out, do 3 laps. As soon as you felt the tyres weren't where you wanted them, escape, pit, do 3 laps, repeat as many times as you could do. And obviously here at Nurburgring, that's a lot more times than you could do at Spa. This is a shorter lap, so you need to be taking advantage of that, and really putting together as many fast laps as you can in whatever the conditions are at a given time.
Ooh, someone just joined the server, which caused a beautiful screen feed for some of these boys, and it's a GT-AM. Good stuff.
Let's name and shame?
Name and
shame.
It's
It's Dark Racing,
Dark
Nuno
Racing.
Pinto. Well done. Congratulations. 90 minutes, mate. No, 60-ish.
60, something like that, That would be quite annoying for some of these drivers to have a screen freeze, especially from an unnecessary situation like that. But either way, it's some of those things that happen. I'll quickly go through some of your pole sitters from the previous rounds. Silverstone, obviously, we had PRL on pole position. Then we've had 2 pole positions from Feeder Sport at Fuji and Sebring. Fuji was a wet qualifying session, so I expect them to come hot towards the end. That was done in the hands of Gergis. Then it was Interlagos for 3 wide, which was dry. They also had the Istanbul pole position as well. And then the other wet qualifying session of the year at Spa was taken by the number 8 Doug Henson racing car. It's the only pole position they've had, despite having plenty of podiums and a win to their name. So hopefully they'll be looking to change that today. However, by 1.3 seconds on that previous lap, Martin Furman has moved himself up into provisional pole.
Bit of a stonker, really. Interesting to point out as well that Martin Furman and Lars Brugman are currently both having done basically the same laps. They're quite close to each other there, showing 6.3 laps completed apiece there. Not the most of anyone. I mean, Nikodem Wisniewski for Feeder Sport seems to have been out literally since the beginning of this. I saw him have a crash early on, but after that has just been running and running and running. Not necessarily working out for him. It's with 12 minutes to go, high time he escaped to that pit lane and put on a new set of boots. But it's the right kind of idea, because you never know if you're going to get that sweet spot. So interesting tactic decisions here. Lots of pit stops from some people, very few pit stops from other people for tyres. As there we are. So Dragos Harbour talking World Racing. GTM, congratulations, you're dummy number 2 of the day. Go away, please.
I will also say that Berenek also has left the server. Not really sure why. As Matt Satenta has moved up into 2nd position. Yuri Kasdorp moved up into 4th, has been moved down to 5th. But yes, please, GTM drivers, please stop joining the server. That is very irritating.
Or any drivers that aren't in LMP1 and on the server. Just go away. Leave it alone.
Oh dear. So it is very frustrating. We all know, even from a practice session where people leave and join, that's going to be very frustrating at Le Mans with the way the qualifying works there.
It'll be difficult, but again, something that people need to prepare themselves for in advance. Yeah, it's laid out, it's on the paper now. People need to know what's going on and maybe look into fixes, although I'm sure there aren't any. Thankfully, Le Mans, lots of straights. You get a freestyle straight, not the end of the world. That's mostly what it is. So,
to discuss the rule set for that qualifying session, we'll just quickly go into it now. We don't need to go into it in too much detail. We'll get there when we get to Le Mans. And what will turn out to be a podcast on the broadcast, as Radielli is up in 2nd position. It was also Boulart that moved up into 5th. But basically, the way qualifying is going to work for Le Mans at the present moment in time is going to be an open 2-hour session with 40 cars being all of Room 1 as Hodgkinson moves up into 5th. Room 1 will be decided by the top 10 current runners in the championship. So if anyone's left, then they'll be replaced by the person who's 11th and so on. And it'll be those lot in each category. And it'll be just an open 2-hour session, as many laps as you want. It will be quite stressful for some of these drivers. They do need to prepare for that. But of course, that is in a month and a bit's time. That's quite a way away, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a good period of time between now and then, which is thankful. I'm sure that after this weekend, everyone will have had their endurance racing fix for a while and can leave it alone. But it being Le Mans, I'm sure that there'll be some participants of the league that will be practicing it come Monday.
Who are you talking about? Which team?
No one in particular that would be practicing Le Mans as soon as is possible. No one at all would fall under that bracket.
Well, he's quite excited for Le Mans. Come on.
I'm not. That's just me. I'm the only person in the world that doesn't like it.
After last year's Le Mans, I'm not too pumped either, mate. Don't worry. Are you really excited to get past the 8-hour mark this year?
Well, I'm not driving with you, so the hope is there.
Thanks. Well, I mean, as long as you...
avoid the curbs.
I can't even say it on the broadcast what you did.
No. Most of what I say isn't broadcast worthy, the more you think about it.
I need to avoid the curbs, and you need to make sure that your bladder is fully under control.
That's what you're going for. Right. Yes, that's why you can't say that on the broadcast. If anyone wants the story, please let me know. I'll PM you.
Probably the most amusing story that I've ever heard from sim racing was that one.
It's not going to get beaten anytime soon.
No. Currently, though, we do have less than 10 minutes of the session.
Track's getting faster as well.
Yes, the track is getting faster. Currently, you've got one of your top 3 in the championship outside of the top 10. Of course, it's Beranek who did leave the server. I think it was a disconnect a little bit earlier as Furman crosses the line to start a lap. Currently, your top 10, provided it doesn't improve before I go through it, is the number 1433 wide is on your provisional pole position, followed by the 8 Doug Henson Racing, the 68 Texas Drivers, the 06 Scuderia Italia, the 30 Feeder Sport Poland Championship leading car in 5th position, Yuri Kazdorp, previous race winner in the 003 Revolution Racing, the number 7 Doug Henson Racing car is in 7th, the number 37 IRG Motorsports GP car is in 8th, the number 9 Doug Henson Racing car is in 9th, and the 111 SRVN car is in 10th. Thank God for that. No one improved whilst I was going through it.
How very reliable of everyone on the circuit to not improve whilst you were talking through.
Thanks, guys.
One thing I will say is I'm noticing, particularly in turn 4, people cutting inside and outside of a corner. And it's not one that's got the... it's an easy corner to cut on, but it's not got any of the exclusions this round. So
Yeah,
I'm very... It's important at this point to say provisionally, because I'm pretty sure lots of people have cut there.
yes, a lot of this qualifying will be provisional, especially when the white lines are about 2 kilometres away from the curbing, which a lot of people aim for when driving around. Beranek moves up into the top 10 into 9th position, but...
But I wouldn't round this circuit aim for any of the curbing.
No, certainly not through that
Dangerous
chicane.
sport.
But no, yeah, turn 4 is the left-hander out of the Mercedes arena section, and
Yes.
you're quite right. On the inside of the track, you've got a curb, and then the white line is
Is it a
probably...
right-hander?
It's a right-hander, sorry. I don't know my left from right.
Just see my brain's going, no, it's not. It's the other
Yeah, it's a
way.
right-hander. No, I was thinking of the right corner. I was just
Yes.
going in the wrong direction. It is the one that leaves the Mercedes arena section, and basically there's a curb with quite a big distance between it and the white line. Now, that's not an excuse. You've got to stay within the white lines. But a lot of people will be exceeding that. Also, the as you run out of turn 2, you've got all of that stuff on the right-hand side, which you see them abuse a lot in like DTM and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm
But
sure
to
a
be
lot
fair,
of people have
it's-
gone over that.
That I don't think people will have, just given how slippy and bumpy it is
Yeah.
as soon as you're out on it. Like, it's worth your time staying almost all 4 in the white line there. 'Cause I don't know if that's the case with the LMP1s that we're seeing at the moment, but certainly with the LMP2s, it's not an advantage to push a car out wide there. Not at all.
No, and certainly not in our DHR car, as Nathaniel Lipson is backwards at the hairpin. Certainly not in our car, it's not an advantage. It's more of a death sentence, really.
All right, good. Yeah.
As a shout out to the Texas drivers car of Valentino Mazzatento, who's moved up into second. He's been very competitive this session.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff for Texas drivers. They're qualifying really nicely. They have been since they've moved into the Audi camp. For whatever reason, they're more comfortable with this car. And are doing a very fine job with it at the moment.
I think they should be pretty good for this round, it being a 6-hour round. But coming to Le Mans, one of the issues Texas drivers has is massive disparity in pace between drivers. They've got some drivers that, like you can see at the moment, absolutely at the front, as quick as anyone else on the given day. But they've got other people that would be currently last. So they've got to account for that and maybe start training up the new blood early.
Yeah, of course, with only 2 rounds remaining, only 30 hours of racing in the season, being the 6 hours here, and of course the 24 hours of Le Mans, hopefully, fingers crossed, no red flags. Otherwise, it'll be the 24 hours of stress again.
Well, it's going to be that even if it runs, mate. It's a 24-hour race. They're always 24 hours of stress.
Oh, dear. Yeah, they are. Oh, man, Spa. That was not a... Like, even if that had run green all the way through, that would not have been a good moment in my life. 24-hour races are very difficult, especially when you only have 3 drivers.
Yes.
I can't even sleep when I'm in a 24-hour race.
Oh, I can.
I can't.
I make a
I'm too in the
special
moment.
effort to sleep through all my stints. Let someone else do them.
It's a good job you didn't sleep for Le Mans because obviously you were there when I
No,
had
it's
my
a good
fateful
job that I
crash.
stayed up, ready for mine. Ready for my stints.
Hey, quick, Oscar, 3 laps to go. Oh, I'm dead. Sorry.
Night. Bye.
Yeah, it looks like
That
it
ended
is
that one.
presently raining a little bit heavier at the moment, almost as if the qualifying order seems to remain as it is. I think this rain is getting a bit too heavy. as
That
drivers
said,
just
we
aren't
saw-
finding time.
We've seen some improvements recently, though. I'm not sure if there will be any more from here, but we've certainly seen improvements
Yeah,
recently.
it's getting heavier now. I can even visually see that. You'll visually see that on your screens that this rain is getting.
Oh, as
I
we
think I just accidentally hit my mute button.
Yep, we briefly there lost Lewis McGlade. A moment's silence, which was very, very pleasurable, I'm sure.
Thanks, mate. Whilst we have 4 minutes to go and probably nothing happening, I will give a quick plug to the brand new series which has just opened up in Sim Racing Club, the Virtual Touring Car Championship, which you can all go sign up to now. Thanks.
Yeah,
I thought I'd give it a quick shout.
worth pointing out, Race Room,
Yeah.
2015 World Touring Car Championship pack,
Yeah.
and the calendar currently up, I think is pretty solid. So if you've not got the content, you're limited content there, sign up, have a look at what you're going to need to buy, and maybe just buy the first few tracks, because of course there are prizes on offer for people that run well, so maybe you'll be able to make the VRP back. But quickly moving back, it sounds like Nathaniel Lupson has put in a stonker, despite the heavy rain, to put himself back into 10th spot. So,
good man.
talk about saving himself there. Fantastic bit of running despite the rain.
Wow. Yeah. 46.4. He really needed to do that lap. That's a super job there for Nathaniel Lupson. It's almost as if the rain is starting to dissipate again. I don't think it'll dissipate enough to find an improvement, but we will have hope. Do you remember at Interlagos where we never had hope and then boom, suddenly some good lap times came in? So you never really know.
Very late in the running, wasn't it there?
It was very late. A lot of these drivers will be starting laps as opposed to finishing them with getting some fresh wets. Although currently we do have 2 teams that are in the pit lane. That's Radielli and Kasdorp, and Lupson's now in the pit lane as well. Vasquez is just leaving pit lane, but yeah, it looks like some of these drivers are calling it quits in this session.
Yeah,
But-
I still wouldn't. I'd still go out and try another go.
I wouldn't. We did qualifying in the Formula Renault 3.5s at Istanbul not too long ago, and despite it, you know it's wetter, but you kind of just stay out just in case it suddenly starts drying up, because you never know, and you don't want to be caught out. Remember Lewis Hamilton, 2014, 13, 14,
20 last year.
sometime at Silverstone.
No, 20. 14.
I think it was 14.
14.
Yeah, he was on pole position and then came around and went, no, it's fine, I'm done. Started cruising, everyone else was still pushing, and it was wet for the first sector and started drying up through the second and was super dry through the final, and that meant that he actually started from 6th that race. I know F1 and R Factor 2 are obviously very similar beasts. It's not true. But you understand the concept. You've got to be out on track when it matters, and you never know when it matters in these conditions.
No, still seeing Radelli, Kasdorp, and Vasquez in the pit lane. So at this stage, I think probably going to run it out. In fact, they might be out of the pit lane. My timing is a bit poor.
No. These guys currently got Mats Tenter, Brugman, Kasdorp, Vasquez, and Campbell all remaining in the pit lane.
Just got to see how Bulat does in these last few minutes. He's very much within striking distance of Lupson if he can put together the lap.
His last lap time, though, was a 49.6, which
Maybe not then.
he needs to do a 46.4 to move himself into the top 10. Your current runners, because we never really go through this, your current runners outside of the top 10, these will be the ones that will be trying to get themselves up into the top 10 in the standings for Le Mans. Is IRG Motorsports GP, which is driven by Gregory Bulat, and then you've got Target Racing, Jur Racing, Labiella Racing, and Champion Racing. I'm pretty sure. Did Target actually have a point to their name yet?
No.
I don't think they do.
I don't think so. I'm not sure though. They might do. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure they're at the bottom. Well, we'll sort that out. I'd say I don't know how much more we've got to talk about, because I'm pretty sure that this is.
Very few
Done.
drivers left out on track, none of them going very much quicker.
Yeah, I think that's done. Target Racing do have 0 points. They have not scored a point this season.
Right
which
then.
means for any race that they've done, they haven't finished. I don't know how many
I
races they
think
have
that
done.
last Istanbul was their first outing. I think.
Yeah, I think so. And they didn't finish it, obviously. Yeah, he's pulled off as well. So yeah, that seems to be the qualifying session. We'll quickly run through the top 10. It's Texas Drive. It's 3 wide on their 3rd pole position of the season, very provisionally. Texas Drivers in 2nd. Again, all of this is very provisional. But yeah, Texas Drivers in 2nd. Doug Henson Racing's number 8 car in 3rd. Feedersport Poland in 4th. Scuderia GT Italia in 5th. SRBN, good qualifying for them, up in 6th. Team RGPL in 7th. Revolution in 8th, the previous race winner. We'll see how much they can move up in the race. And then 9th and 10th is the Doug Henson Racing number 7 and the Doug Henson Racing number 9, rounding out your top 10. Again, very, very provisional. Do keep an eye on the Virtual Endurance Championship Facebook to see when ever I get ordered to get around to doing the results. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the qualifying done.
Which means that
Yes,
momentarily,
it does.
just whilst people continue to wrap up, in fact, there's my call.
That's your call,
So
Mr.
I'll be back
Hardwick.
shortly.
Yes. So Oscar Hardwick will be leaving us to go do some qualifying for his LMP2 outfit, and what we will have is a Mr. Kieran Parkin joining us for the LMP2 qualifying. Hello, Kieran. Wet conditions?
Hello.
Looks pretty tricky out there, doesn't it?
It did. That session was really tough for all drivers, I bet.
Yeah, it's the first time you've not qualified in the season.
That is true. Although
yeah.
it shouldn't have been, because I wasn't supposed to
Do
qualify at
Istanbul.
Istanbul, considering I hadn't done any laps really before that session. But you know, whatever. I managed to just scrape my way into room 1. So
Yeah,
and
Adam Hodgkinson
Adam
was-
and
did a
Nate
good job.
have just got in as well. Well, provisionally. I will say provisionally, because we all know that these sessions sometimes don't reflect what will actually be for the race. So
Yeah, of course. And now what we really would love is that the LMP2 qualifying session starts out with really heavy rain, and then that rain stops after about 2 minutes
yes,
and doesn't rain for the rest of the session. It just builds up and up and up as the session continues. But you never know what happens with these sessions. I don't know if you've had a look at the forecast from 55 kilometres away.
it still looks pretty wet.
Pretty morbid, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Just kidding.
these guys obviously will be getting used to wet conditions now, considering the season that we had. We started out in Silverstone a long time ago in the wonderful, dry, sunny conditions, and since then we've been battered by rain most rounds, with the exception of the previous 2.
Fuji was wet.
Yeah.
Interlagos was wet for the most part. We had a wet qualifying at Spa.
Quite a bit wet in the middle of Spa, if I recall correctly.
Yes, it
Sebring
did
was
rain
totally
quite
dry.
a lot in the last half of the race. I remember because
Yeah.
it all fell apart for me there, because I'd been awake for such a long time. My brain stopped working. I couldn't focus enough to drive the drying line. Just kept falling off it.
It's okay, we've got all that to deal with again soon, don't worry.
Yay!
Try and keep awake in a straight line.
Yeah, I won't pull an Oscar, don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, a good bit of chat about that in the previous one.
It's funny because all of us at DHR know the story, but it's not.
It's
It's
a good
not safe for
story.
broadcast. So
Good story. If you've got any questions, come on TeamSpeak and poke Oscar now. He'll love that.
oh yeah, right as he's about to start qualifying.
Don't actually do that, people. Don't actually do that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get through the LMP2 qualifying without anyone else joining. That would be great. And currently, the rain is coming down very, very heavily.
Yes.
And in a shocking... Wow. See, now the contrast from LMP2 to LMP1. LMP1, we have had 4 different pole sitters. At the moment, provisionally, we've had another repeat pole sitter from 3 wide. It's their 2nd pole in a row, their 3rd pole position
Right,
from them
here
this
we
season.
go.
But it's been Team Spirit Racing on pole every single time this
Every race,
season. All
which
6.
is incredible.
Yeah. Now they didn't.
Absolutely unheard of.
Yeah, it is. They had pole position back in. Oh, they didn't have pole position back in Sebring because that was
No.
actually held by.
Sasha Glatter for
Sasha Glatter for Game Area 51.
51.
Yeah,
Here comes
yeah.
the rain. It doesn't.
Wow, that's heavy.
That's
That's
it's
really
quite
heavy. That's
Right,
very, very heavy.
Here we
yeah.
go.
Session
Hardwick
goes
is out
green.
first,
He knows, yeah.
followed by Anthony Jans.
Yeah, Anthony Yans, the driver of that car that's had pole position at every round this season. And yeah, looking to take their 7th consecutive pole position.
It's just
That is
insane to
absolutely
think about.
nuts. And in a shocking turn of events, they are in the lead of the championship.
Yeah.
Didn't win
Despite
last time
having...
out, though.
No, they didn't win last time out. I remember at Sebring they had, I believe, a 60-second stop and hold, which put them quite a way back at the start, and then they fought their way all the way back into the lead, and then had another incident which cost them a lot of time in the pits and repairs, and then fought their way back to...
They won at Sebring.
They won again, yeah.
Yeah, they won
Which
again at
was
Sebring.
Amazing.
They've only failed to win on 2 occasions this
Yeah.
season. That was Interlagos when SimHQ took a win, and at the previous round when
In Istanbul, where it was
Magenta Warriors.
Oscar Hardwick's team.
Yeah, Magenta Warriors, the team that is currently first out on track, that number 24
Yep.
car. And I know for a fact Oscar Hardwick isn't doing this race, he's just doing the qualifying.
Yes.
At least that is provisionally how it works out. He is away for the race, but he might as well qualify the car and help it into a good position. Currently 8th in the
Coming through the
standings.
chicane now, about to start his lap. So we'll get a good idea of how quick the track is at the moment.
I haven't got a clue what an LMP2 time is around this circuit.
Not in the wet.
No.
Earlier on, I was seeing in the 2-minute window, but I at one point saw Anthony Yans very close to LMP1 times, but I assume that was on a drier track. Conditions are very much different to what they were when I was looking earlier.
It'll 100% be on the track at the right time, and to be honest, at all times. Don't be in the pit lane for longer than you need
Rule
to
of
be.
thumb is always be out on track as much as possible.
Yeah.
Oscar flashing his lights there to
Philippakos, who's
LMP2.
ahead. Yeah, it's the Atlantic car up ahead.
He won't want anybody getting in his way. He will not be best pleased.
Philippakos will be impressive in these conditions considering he's on a controller. Philippakos is currently a fair enough way up the road that it's not going to be too bad, although with the spray and stuff like that, it'll be a distraction.
Unless Philippakos makes a major error and slows down, it shouldn't scupper Oscar.
Certainly not a slow driver, is Philippakos.
No, he's very quick with his controller. An incredible ability to have. Watching his onboard, looking at his inputs, it's so alien. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm looking at it, I'm like, how are you driving that quickly with those inputs? I could never do it ever.
Yeah, of course, with the constant like flicking right to get through a corner and then flicking left
especially
to get through
in the
another.
wet as well.
It's very impressive.
And in this car being fully rear-wheel drive is
Yeah, of course, they do have traction control to aid them though, but this will be probably stuck on medium for these boys. Oscar Hardwick leaves the final corner. Up towards the line, it's going to be a 1:49.1. That's not bad, I guess. I have no idea. Currently,
Anthony Yans 1:49.4.
That is
so
impressive then.
It's looking like a decent lap for Oscar.
Yeah, the people all falling
51.3,
in behind.
51.4 for the RGPL cars.
Yeah, just a quick summary. It's the number 45 Team Spirit Racing, the number 29 SimHQ Motorsports, and the number 60 Scuderia GT Italia are all your free pass cars up into room 1.
I was just going to ask you about that. So at the moment, we've got the 45 and the 60 in the top 10, and the SimHQ car is, I believe, 13th, 14th.
Yeah, dropping
it'll
the
keep
way
changing,
down.
as I say, just like in P1.
The SimHQ car's not really focused on qualifying. They're literally just here to do the laps. They don't usually put in one of the lead drivers like Pedro Gomez into that car. They normally leave that for the race, which is a fair strategy to have. It works for them, clearly. Of course, we do have quite a few penalties when it comes to the race, so even whatever qualifying order we have, it will change up as the session progresses, as the race progresses anyway. In that first period, Oscar Hardwick getting traffic from Philippakos now, who's
he was slower through the first sector on his second lap was Oscar, as was Anthony Yans.
It
Patrick
looks heavier.
Hayden's hadn't. Yes, I think I think it's definitely starting to get heavier, or the track is getting wetter. Because I'm not seeing anybody going much quicker at the moment on their second lap.
Which Oscar will be more than happy with to take the pole by default, but I would find this very painful if we don't have any improvements over a 19-minute session.
It's going to be hard to commentate on, that's for sure.
It sure will be. But
we had this at Interlagos, but
yeah.
Was it a little bit at Spa?
Spa did get a bit
towards
boring.
The end of some of the sessions.
GTM was pretty boring. Yeah. I say it's some of these things with conditions like this is they can create exciting qualifying, also they can ruin good qualifying sessions, but never shy away from a wet race, am I right? Or something. You sound like you'd be shying away from a wet race. I think we've driven enough in the wet this season, to be honest, haven't
yes. I've definitely done enough wet for the season. No more, please.
See, wet racing, right, is some things that some people really, really like. And they're normally really quite good to watch. But for the majority of people, I don't like driving them. They are
Fuji
annoying.
Was terrifying
in
the traffic, because generally in practice there wasn't really much wet running done, because it didn't really rain very much in the run-up. And then you've got 40 cars on track in 4 different classes, and you just have to play it by ear. You just have to hope for the best, because you don't know what you're going to expect. It's just insanity.
I don't think I've ever spun as much in a race as I did at Fuji. Our car felt horrible.
Our car was not very well suited to the wet conditions.
No,
it came alive when it started to dry out, but then unfortunately started to rain again, which kind of scuppered our race a little bit.
It was not good times. So the wet conditions have been a consistent theme of this season. We've had as many wet races as dry races, and it's looking like at present moment we might be having a wet Nurburgring, but we shall wait and see. It's a week's time until the actual race, so you never know what's going to happen over the week. I did a race last week where the forecast for the week building up to it was dry every single day until the day when it was wet. And it was a wet race. So
lovely.
You never know.
Indeed. Anthony Jan's just going back out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these conditions are a bit too heavy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, fix it! Dear. Yeah,
still
it's just
2 cars
heavy.
that have not set a lap time. The 57 SINL team and the Deltec Racing team. They have also not set a time yet.
Deltec, a fairly recent addition to the series. I'm not sure about the other
Deltec,
ones.
158.4, which puts them 20th of 21.
Yeah, and they're not new, are they? The SINL. They've been here for a little while.
They've been around for a couple of rounds. They are a newer team. They haven't been here since the get-go of Season 8, but I believe they joined for Sebring. I want to say Sebring. So they've been here for a couple of rounds.
Yeah, of course. Sebring always feels like it was just yesterday for me. I can't seem to forget that race.
Oh, yeah. Neither can I, don't worry.
Yeah. Great memories.
That race was nuts.
Fun.
It was fun. I did enjoy it, but it was just a shame that so many bad things happened to us.
Yeah, it was I actually quite enjoyed the traffic in that race. It was a bit more calming.
It was very good.
This track will not be so calming with traffic, of course. The way the traffic will play out around a circuit such as this, the tight and twisty nature of it will be very difficult come the qualifying session. Let's have a look. See if there's anyone low down.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Looking at it right now, I was going to say to mention, obviously we've got 3 cars exempt, which is Team Spirit Racing in the 45, Scudera GT Italia in the 60, and SimHQ Motorsports in the 29. SimHQ Motorsports are currently 14th. So they obviously will get moved up into the top 10 automatically if it stays as is, which means that
RGPL,
Cernahag, both RGPL LMP2 cars will not be in Room 1.
Yeah, it'll be the another time with that happening. In fact, it'll be, I believe, Let's have a look. When was the last time they actually got through into room 1? Wow. I don't think that those RGPL cars have actually been in room 1 this season.
That's...
Oh no, once. Once.
I was going to say, I
season.
find that a little hard to believe. They're not
but
slow.
Only one of them. No, that can't be right.
No, it can't be right. I know for the first round that one of them was, because remember they added a second car midway through the season. Their original entry was just the 137, which is
the
currently
137
11th.
Was in room 1 at Fuji, and I don't see on these, which are the official standings we made, I don't see them on any other one. I'm possibly scanning through a bit too quick, but that's the only one I can see. That is impressive.
I remember they both were room 2 in Spa, and I remember that the 137 was in room 2 at Silverstone because they won in room 2.
Yeah,
in their class.
I think it's literally just Fuji they've been in. So what pain would that be for the team if they have only been in one time, and then the time where they are in the top 10, they get removed from it?
Yeah.
So who knows what is going to happen? Presently, though, no improvement across the board, and this pole position for Oscar Hardwick is looking fair. So he'll be praying that lap was legal, though.
He's had a spin there, yes. Because that is the only super quick lap that's set, so they'll all be hoping that their quick lap is legal.
Well, let's see if Oscar listened to his own words, because he said that he'd quite happily sacrifice 4 tenths for the first lap of the session to make sure it was legal. Now
we'll find out, won't we?
We will find out. We'll find out very shortly. Well, in a few days' time, I guess we'll find out.
Over the course of the checking of the laps and and all that.
If he had a single cut in that lap, he will get a 1 second time penalty, and that 1 second time penalty will put him to second by 1,000th of a second.
It will as well. Wow.
That'd be pretty interesting.
That's,
knowing how strong that Team Spirit racing car is, you wouldn't be too surprised to see it on a pole position again.
No.
But we'll see.
Yes. I almost want to. I'm gonna call it. I reckon Oscar's got at least one cut. I reckon that it's going to be Anthony Yans on pole again for the 7th time, because it's just logical. You look at the past racing, like, oh yeah, he's probably going to be on pole again.
What time's it done? It's 49.1.
49.4 for Anthony Yans and a 49.1 for Oscar.
I forget we can check this.
Yes.
Hold on.
Looking at the laps for people out on track, they're going 3 to 5 seconds slower than their fastest lap, so it's definitely gotten a lot worse out there.
Yeah. As I say, the conditions are certainly deteriorating. I'm just scanning through this lap very quickly, very roughly.
Oh, you're checking him right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it looks legal.
Wow.
He might have listened to himself.
It then. Maybe he did.
Who knows? It's always good to abuse Oscar on a broadcast. If you
It's okay. We're his friend. It's fine.
That's a strong word.
Okay.
I'm not his friend. He's a horrible person. He's my team boss in another league, in another series soon, which of course everyone needs to go sign up to.
Yes.
The Sim Racing Club Virtual Touring Car Championship. Of course, keep an eye on the Sim Racing Club page, of course, on Facebook. And the site simracing.club. Of course, there's always series going on. The Virtual GT Championship is going on strongly, and we do need a few more drivers in the Porsche Super Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to try some more racing, it's also good, as a good note, for your safety rating.
Yes.
So if you have a bad safety rating, hop over there, do a couple of races, keep it clean, and increase that.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you're still on a 500, Kieran?
I am. Even with my 1 AC that I got a C-Ring, I'm back up on 500. So
yeah, I have no idea what I'm on.
The first AC I've got in 2 seasons, so... And it was just a silly mistake from me, so...
I'm pretty sure I'm on like 450 or something. I don't even know. I didn't do the last round, you see.
Yeah.
Well,
I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't supposed to. So I kind of had to because Nick wasn't available and got to do a driver swap. So
yeah, it's one of those things that happens a lot, isn't it? You change up drivers fairly frequently. I know for our cars at least, we're in quite a lucky position where we can steal
it's been
drivers.
you, Lars, and Bailey for the entire season.
And stealing Hodge.
Oh, and
on
you
occasion.
stole Hodge a couple of times, but then that didn't really do any favours the times that you've stolen him.
I'm on 500.
Way.
I feel good. I got 500 for running out of fuel. Cool. It's because I DNF'd that race before I could do anything. Either way, the session's not improving at the moment. We've got 9 minutes to go, and the potential for the qualifying session has almost dissipated. And unfortunately, I don't feel we are going to get any improvement as the session continues. It seems to be it. So, if you've got any questions, throw them out.
Yeah.
Because
we need something to fill the time.
Exactly. We've got some time here. This is what, by the way, what Le Mans qualifying might be for quite a bit of it, which is just people talking. Hopefully, we'll for the broadcast get a group of people and we'll actually have a podcast type thing for that and a season recap. As that might be a more appropriate way of doing it.
Because this qualifying session is combined, so you'll have LMP1, LMP2, and both GT Pro and AM in 2 sessions. And the sessions, I believe, will be longer. I can't remember what the protocol was for last year.
It's different this year. It's all in one session.
Is it all classes at once?
All classes at once, 2-hour session.
Ooh.
So
okay.
Again,
that's interesting.
People are going to be getting really angry. It's one of those things. As Bailey will never let me forget, or anyone forget, that he was on a really good lap, and it's obvious on the broadcast. And he got held up by an P2.
Yeah, to a P2 in the
year.
Porsche curves.
Now that is going to be a common theme.
Yep.
Where you'll have people on laps that will. It's going to be a stressful session for some of these drivers, but
absolutely.
Provided
Dennis Hadlack kicks the rear out coming out of the final chicane and goes into the pits. That's quite a fancy pit entry by him there.
And
he spins on entry.
Lost the front
definitely a lack of grip out there at the moment. Yeah, it's definitely way too wet.
Which is a shame.
He's reversing into the pits.
Yeah, it's a shame for us all watching and commentating.
Yeah. Still a few cars out on track, just sticking out there, trying to find anything they can. I don't think it's going to work though. I mean,
no.
The latest laps of people out on track, they're 58, 2 minute plus, 56 is 2 minutes 10. Yeah, it's just...
It's too wet at the moment. It's almost to the point where I'd like Oscar to unmute and then we could ask him annoying questions whilst he drives around. However, I don't feel that will be the case.
No, but he's still going.
Yeah. Let's say he's got the right mentality. You've always got to be out because you never know.
It could magically stop raining and with still 6 minutes to go.
6 minutes. That's what happened over in GTM back in Interlagos. The session improved with about 3 minutes to go. And it was out of nowhere. It was out of complete nowhere. No one expected it. But at present, we'll go through your top 10, or I guess your order, why not? Because we've got nothing else to talk about. It's currently Magenta Warriors on pole position. It'll be their second pole position in VEC if you include the pole position their GTM had
that is true.
back at Spa,
wasn't it?
Yep, which was also where Magenta Warriors... Yes, Oscar Harbuck did qualify second back then. Then it's Team Spirit Racing, who look for the first time this season to not be on pole position.
It will be their worst qualifying result of the season.
Awful. Truly awful. What
How
a
about that? Their
disappointing
worst
result.
qualifying result out of 7 races is second.
Yeah, not bad, is it? And it's Game Area 51, who they've done a good job.
They've been up there since they've come in.
Yeah,
very quick.
Obviously, the provisional pole position back at Sebring, and they ended up qualifying 5th in class.
Yes.
Then it's PRL Logitech Racing, and then it's Flatline Racing, and it's Kyushu Motorsports. I don't know which one that is actually.
That's the 07 car.
Okay. Oh, I think. Oh, was that someone joining, or my game just crashed? It's fine. I fixed it. Yeah, so it's Kyushu, then it's Scuderia GT Italia, then it is DR Motorsports, then it is MVD Racing Team, and then it will be SimHQ Motorsports, which will be in 10th.
Yep.
So that, the 2
RGPL down to 11th.
Yeah, which does mean potentially again. Obviously I don't have my my Route 2 qualifying results but it'll be a front row for RGPL in Room 2.
Yes, they will lock out that front row in Room 2.
Yeah, then it'll be Seawolf Net Race Tuner Motorsport. I have to get the tuner in. It's just an in-joke.
Odin Racing. They're quite
Odin
low
Racing.
down.
They are low down. Earlier on in the season, I remember back in Silverstone, they were certainly one of the teams we were looking at on pretty decent pace. So they ended up qualifying 8th, but I think that was after a cut.
I remember at Le Mans for Season 7, they switched from their GT Pro entry to LMP2, and they took the pole position, I believe, for Le Mans, and led for the first, in the first hour until, I think Per Rosenly unfortunately had a crash and a disconnect and couldn't get back in.
Yeah,
they've been very good in LMP2.
It's a shock to see them that low, but either way, that's where they are. Then the next position behind that will be DR Motorsports of Ben Willis, so the other Kyushu Motorsports car. Then Atlantic, that is a very low position.
Atlantic as well, clearly
a team that qualified
not getting on with this controller.
Yeah, they qualified 7th last time in Room 1, but they've only failed to make Room 1 on 2 previous occasions this year, as far as I can see. So they are one of the teams that really should be in Room 1 consistently, but evidently, they were very late out. When Oscar completed that lap, he was on an outlap and he didn't complete that time lap. So that would explain why they're so far down. Then it's SINL team, and then it's Sicania Endurance Motorsports, and it's the PowerMax Sim Racing, and then it in last position is Deltec. So that is your full order.
Struggling a little bit.
They do seem to be. Of course, a fairly new outfit to VEC. I'm currently down that order, but with 2 minutes to go in the session, I don't think anything's going to happen.
Unless the rain stops instantly and the sun comes out and the temperature raises about 10 degrees, I don't think we're going to see anything change.
No, which is a shame. It's a shame. It was brewing to be a good qualifying session, and what it's ended up is being about 23 minutes of being bored.
Us talking about our experiences in VEC and such.
Well, can't really talk about much else, can we?
Well, we do our best.
We do our best.
Oscar's still going for it. Almost goes off exiting the final chicane.
Oh, he's got some consistency. His previous lap was a 55.3. His lap before that was a 55.2.
Yeah.
Nice and quick.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's just stuck a lot of fuel in the car and is
Racing.
doing a little bit of race setup, because the potential for rain on race day, I'm not sure what the forecast is at the moment, but I mean, this has appeared. It could appear again in a week's time. Never a bad thing to get a little bit of setup work done in wet conditions.
Yeah, it's...
you never know when it can be wet on the server. So...
Yeah, Oscar, of course, the primary driving force behind the team, at least setup-wise, although he'll never admit that because he finds himself lazy and incompetent, which everyone else does as well, to be fair. But he is the primary force behind that team. He was the one that put that car in a position to win back in Istanbul by doing some truly good, truly amazing work behind the wheel. And so, it's he'll be the one that needs to kind of help that team into a good position, of course, with his him not being there for the race. So there is that.
He's going to try and help them any way he can.
Yep, well, it is his team. He's kind of got to, so...
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he's a really bad team boss.
Yep.
Have you ever driven for Oscar?
I haven't driven for Oscar. I've driven with Oscar in some fun things, but
I drove for
I mean,
Oscar
who
once
knows? Who knows? If he's planning to run a GTR LM, I might be swayed.
Yeah. Yeah, so I drove for Oscar once, never again. He's just sliding his way around the track, trying to have a bit of fun, and he's failed
Well,
like
it's
an
the
idiot.
last lap for.
Yeah. He's got to be
The
careful.
timer is out. Checkered flag.
Oh, look at these burnouts. Oh. And across the line. And that lap was a 2-minute 21.1. Whoa.
Stonking lap time from Oscar Hardwick there to end the session.
However, at this moment, and of course, remember, provisionally, do remember to check.
Provisionally is the key word.
Yes, remember to check Facebook, remember to check in the Sim Racing Club forum somewhere. Sorry, I don't really know where. It will be, the official standings will be up soon, whenever I get told what they are.
As soon as all laps are reviewed and as soon as Lewis gets said results to make fancy, beautiful graphics.
Yeah, which
right,
I need to make it really a lot easier than it is, because I know ways now. I'm learning.
Yeah.
That session, though, does come to a close, and then we will have 25 minutes of GTE Pro qualifying, and then we'll finish up with 25 minutes of GTE Am. Remember, the penultimate qualifying session of the season for these boys.
Yes, and I'm going to wait for Oscar to come back, and I'm going to shoot off because I actually have a race to go to in an hour's time. I'm doing a multi-class event at Road America. So should be quite good. And there he is.
There he is.
Congratulations, Oscar.
Congrats, Oscar. We will
That was unexpected.
Wave goodbye to Kieran and then say hello.
Thanks for having
to
me,
Hardwick.
Lewis.
Thank you for joining me through that session. It was very much needed.
Worries. I'll leave you guys to it. Catch you later.
See ya. Okay, now Oscar.
Hi.
Now, obviously, pro driver in conditions, and by pro I mean just getting a lap out at the start of the session. But still, good job. You're the one on provisional pole position. Now, I did check through that lap. Did look pretty legal.
Yeah, it felt legal. I didn't look at it because I just kept doing laps at the time, but it seemed all right. Yeah, I didn't. There was nothing immediately wrong with it, from what I could tell. Of course, I'll be checking later, and it is still provisional. But I think that's probably our first pole position, and only the second person to deny Jans.
Provisionally. Bearing in mind, you say the second person to deny Jans. You're actually, if that is legal, you'll be the first person to deny Jans.
Wow, first non.
Yeah, Team Spirit Racing.
TSR.
How does that feel?
I'm warm and fuzzy inside.
Warm and fuzzy inside. Can I just say, Oscar, I've qualified. I've commentated on a lot of these qualifying sessions this year.
That was the most boring.
That was the most boring.
Yeah, or immediately, it's just at the beginning.
Yeah, you should have unmuted and spoke to me. Oh.
Well, no,
joking,
I kept doing the laps, and
I'm joking. Don't worry, mate.
You had to. You never knew if it was going to suddenly stop, and you had to.
It did look like it was stopping on occasion, but then just again came down heavy. The rain is very heavy at the moment. We obviously move through into GT Pro qualifying soon, so it seems very important. Yeah, just getting all the GT Pro drivers into the server, and yeah, it's going to be important to be that first car, as you showed, Mr. Hardwick, in true form. To be the first car out on track, it's very important.
It makes a difference, particularly with the spray. I mean, on my second lap, I don't know, I think it was Atlantic in front of me, just flashing my lights, because it's like, I'm going to catch you. I want it. He had so much opportunity to pull over on his out lap and didn't use it. And then, of course, caught him straight away on that second lap. So
yeah, and that meant he
poor
pulled
awareness.
off. Well, it's not raining.
Is it not?
No, join the server, mate, and spectate.
All right then.
Just don't join it in proper because you'll get punched in the face. But yeah, it's not raining at the moment. That's going to be interesting. Please don't rain midway through the session. Just do not do it. I will kill our Factor 2 if it does. But yeah, he ended up costing himself because he pulled off of... Oh, rain's just started.
There we are.
It's fine. It's
Sorted.
fine. But yeah, he pulled off of his second lap, or his first timed lap, because obviously the one in front of you, he was on an out lap, which then meant that he didn't have a lap to complete in that early part of the session when the track was at its quickest. which then meant that he ended up qualifying 17th. So, again, awareness is super important in conditions like this. You need to be nice to the people around you. And at this moment, it is going to be so important for these drivers to get out onto the circuit and complete some timed laps, because the session, the way it is, it's looking pretty good out there for some of these boys. So yes, they definitely need to get out there whilst it's as dry as it is. Well, not wet as it is. You hear me?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. Not wet, dry, wet, dry. Yes. Let's have a look at who has been on pole position this season whilst they're all on the outlap.
Van Buren, Jakovic.
Yeah. Capit never had a pole position. Walk Racing never had a pole in the series. They qualified on the front row once, and they qualified third twice, and then failed to qualify for Room 1 on 2 occasions, and then RQ'd. But your pole positions was the 333 Revolution racing car, which is actually a car that's not in the series anymore. Not as 333 anyway. They've changed to the 303, which is they moved from a Viper to a Corvette. We've all right. Then we had SRVN on pole position at Fuji. Then we've had Vires at the previous round at Spa and Interlagos, and then of course it was Scuderia Leone back in Sebring. Now Vires' lowest qualifying out of 5 attempts in qualifying has been second. They've had pole on 3 occasions, and they've had second on 2. However, they have never converted any of those positions into a race win. When is that first round going to be? I do also notice Jakovic. I don't think. Oh no, Jakovic is in the server. He's 13th. Never mind. I'm seeing things.
I mean, there's always the potential for it to be this round, but it's difficult to say. I mean, they've got the pace to do it, but I find that Jakovic is far more intent on saying, "Oh, LMPs can't do that" by turning into them and wrecking his own car. He's got no preservation on the in respect to the car. And if he just judded out the way once or twice in a race, they probably would have won already, because they've probably been spun around. You know, again, wrongfully. It's not them at fault necessarily, but you're still you're putting yourself at risk by allowing your car to stay in those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're always the one that makes the controversial comments, because boy, I usually make them. But you know, it's actually it's a fair criticism. That sometimes through a race, although the other team is in the wrong, sometimes observing a situation and maybe
diving off the track and not getting 7 minutes of repairs.
Basically, yes. You know, if you play it safe, understand that here's an LMP1 with some very specific colours on it that's probably going to hit you off. Let's let that one through, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. And it's better off. No.
Oh, right.
No, you're not allowed to. You're not even allowed to guess the make. But you know, if you move out of the way, that's going to cost you what, a couple of seconds. If you don't move out of the way and they hit you, that's going to cost you a lot more than a couple of seconds. That's going to cost you minutes.
Seconds, we've got our first lap times coming in, and it is immediately Jakovic to pole.
Oh, we've had a crash as well. I just heard that. Don't know who it was. But yeah, it's Jakovic currently on pole position ahead of Miroslav Davidovic in one of those Revolution. What would you say, Wimp car?
It's the Wimp option when you could have had the Viper, you know.
Okay.
Definitely, okay. Viper is best GT
well, there's no
car.
point to be in a Viper anymore.
No, because they're really slow.
Well, no, because there's no big rear wing.
That's a good point.
Jimmy!
Very upsetting that we lost the big rear wing.
Very upsetting. Yeah, upgrade issues. But I think that big rear wing should have been defaulted. Yeah. Everyone should have been forced to have it.
No one would have changed car then.
Absolutely ridiculous. Actually, loads of people would have changed cars to a Viper.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Viper Cup in the GT class at that stage.
Exactly, much like it is in some other GT leagues with the Ferrari. It's Ferrari Cup. because Ferrari's pretty quick. Whoa! Davidovich had a little bit of traffic there from a core car, gets past it, but yeah, of course these laps are going to be very important. It is presently raining on the circuit, I do believe, but just not heavily.
It's fairly heavy.
Is it? Doesn't seem that bad. I think the track's very wet from your session, and the rain is just
It would be our fault, wouldn't it?
It would be your fault, yeah, absolutely. It's specifically your fault.
All right.
As leader of LMP2 at this moment. How's it? 23% rain at the moment. How does it feel, Oscar, to grab pole position provisionally, to then not start from pole position?
This time away. I would say it feels very good. I was given a task. I performed that task literally as well as I could have done, and now it's someone else's job to do the rest.
Well, that's a very high and mighty way of thinking about it.
It's an accurate way of thinking about it.
It is. Presently, though, we do have 6 cars that haven't set a time, which could hinder them, but it might help. I don't know. It did help in the LMP1 qualifying session with Brugman and Matsumoto, who didn't go out until probably about half a lap into the session, about a minute into the session, then they went out, and you know they were the top 2 for a bit of the early part. So you never know, but we'll have to wait and see. As Casper, says, rip big wing 15 to 16.
Very sad. Very sad.
Yeah, very, very sad. Saddest moment of my sim racing career was seeing that go.
Are you sure?
No, running out of fuel was definitely the saddest moment of my career. Thanks for correcting me there.
Final answer? No. But yes, I mean, the one thing I would say is, even though we're seeing a lot of this sort of like opening lap is the best lap after the LMP1 session, it's not necessarily messing up the grid orders that much. I mean, most people are going out there with the right mindset and doing that banker lap at the beginning that's getting them where they need to be. The only person, in fact, I don't see anyone at the moment outside of the top 10 in GTE Pro that I would say necessarily should be in it. You know, all of the regulars in that top 10 area are in the top 10.
Yeah, I think Scuderia Leone presently in the standings. We'll actually go through those that top 3 in the standings, but Scuderia Leone are currently 13th in the standings. Now, they joined and taken 2 wins. Now, if they want to get into Le Mans, they basically they are on 60 points and 10. They're 13 points out. They kind of do need to win again, although oh no, that's a 301 Revolution car. So yeah, they do kind of need to do well here to get into that top 10 to yeah, they basically need to win.
Well, are they even on track at the moment?
I
don't see a Scuderia Leone car.
No, then. So evidently, if they're not here, then who knows?
That was a good chat, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. Thanks. I'll shut up now. I'll shut up now. But either way, Scuderia Leone, they're obviously the winner of the previous 2 races. So if they're not here, so I don't see them here. Oh no, they are 11th. Well, that's not good, is it?
I would say that's done for the day. To be honest.
Well, then again, 25 points. It's not what they want, but
it could work. It would be properly sketchy, but it could work.
Yeah, that car, that is going to be a very interesting one to focus on over the 6 hours of the race, because again, as we've talked about, it's the top 10 in the championship standings and the current runners. Now, so far, all of the cars in front of them are current runners in this championship. They need to get themselves into that top 10 to progress through into Room 1 Le Mans, which I know they'll want to do, especially with the success that they've had. So if they get through into Room 2 here and not Room 1, I'm fairly sure that'll be a fair disappointment to the new outfit in VEC. However, your top 3 in the standings, Scuderia GT Italia currently leading it by 12.5 points. I'd love to have a half. Over SRVN. Scuderia GT Italia won one of the races back in Spa, I think. Actually, I don't really remember. SRVN won back in Fuji and Interlagos. They're in second, and then Team Vires yet to take a win this season, however, have moved themselves up into the top 3, currently 3.5 points off of second position, and confirming themselves as championship contenders. If they take the win this time, or even if they just beat Scuderia GT Italia, we'd be definitely looking at Vires as, you know, heading to the end of the season, heading to Le Mans as maybe even championship favourites.
That would be mighty impressive of them to pull it off, because I understand that they didn't do
the first round. They didn't do the
but they've
first
been
round.
here since.
Yeah.
And like you say, that they have ran well. They've qualified incredibly. And it's just got to be about putting together a bit more come race day. Then, like they don't necessarily need to. I think they're comfortably in Le Mans and everything. It's just if they want to look at a championship, they need to start driving less to bolster themselves when thinking about rules, and more to keep the car in one piece for a 6-hour period.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely indeed. Presently, though, we are about halfway through the session, and there hasn't been any improvements since that first lap. So it almost looks like we might have another LMP2 style qualifying. And I swear, if this happens in GTEAM, I'm going to slip my wrists.
Well, it's worth pointing out that with all of the classes other than an LMP1, they're two-wheel drive, they're rear-wheel drive.
Yes.
We do not gain as much from the wet. We can't. There's too much grip lost for a rear-wheel drive car when it starts raining, so we need much more specific conditions than the LMP1s to find pace.
Yeah. I'm just hearing a lot of tears here, Hardwick.
No tears from me. None at all.
No, on a serious note, yes, you are absolutely right. As these sessions progress, the LMP1s will get faster and faster as the conditions slightly improve, whereas these cars, it's harder to find that extra little bit here and there as the session moves on. It's a very tricky
if the rain
formula.
stops.
Yeah, outside of that, it doesn't work. So it is almost likely that we're not going to see any more improvements in this session, but boy, we'll keep hope.
Yeah, fingers crossed. For example, it would be nice to see Kevin Heinen move that Scuderia Leone car into the top 10.
I think it would be good for the championship and certainly something to watch out for in the race. This team, a very, very well-run outfit at the moment, this 334 car. Of course, you know where they are, a nice drift out of the final corner. Also, shout out to you, Oscar. Really nice drifting towards the end of that session. Do approve.
Really?
No. Well, you can. It was more interesting to watch than nothing happening.
Well, I sort of figured about 3 minutes from the end that I had it, and I thought, okay, I'll wait for the checkered flag to come out, and then I'll start doing skids. So, you've got to try and have fun when the fun's not presenting itself to you, right?
This is a super serious league. Fun's not allowed.
No fun allowed. Love
No fun
Stephen
allowed.
Bailey.
Sorry, what was that, Jimmy?
Ooh.
Oh,
there you go.
Rain, yeah, decreasing rain. We're now at 2% rain, so this is approaching the period where we'd almost see some sort of improvement.
You definitely could improve.
So
all it needs is for everyone to be out there and circulating, and I would say if the rain stays this way, last 3 to 5 minutes of session will be quicker. And actually, just as I say that, you can see loads of people that were in the pit lane light up and head back out into the circuit.
Yes.
So a few people cottoning onto that, I would say.
Yes, absolutely. This is the time when you need to be out on track. 11 minutes rather, to go. So plenty of time to get some improvements. And some potential improvements. And hopefully an interesting end to the qualifying session to come. We had this back in Interlagos, as I said, in GTEAM, where it was boring for the middle 10 minutes. But then that final little section was absolutely on it. It was so good to watch. It was all over the place and people were jumping up and down. It was really good to watch. So hopefully we're going to see that from these boys. Of course, they know what they're doing in these GTE cars, apparently.
Yes, I would definitely say GTE Pro, again, will say what I've said a few times before, been one of the most competitive classes in qualifying throughout the season. Well, it's seeing bigger gaps today, but I think that's just testament to the weather more than anything else.
Yeah.
These guys, if the weather's fairly static, always qualify close together.
Yeah, it's definitely not a session. I mean, you know how much I love GT cars. Not a category I'd want to take part in. Out of just how competitive this field is, it's certainly no slouch.
Well, and they're very challenging vehicles. Like,
Yeah.
they're out there with reduced grip, far less aero to deal with the faster corners at high speed, and, twice the weight, really, of any of the LMP cars. Very difficult things to drive, particularly in GT Pro when they're putting out, the highest power output, the lowest drag, all of those things. Although, of course, you look at GTM and they're having to deal with much worse brakes.
Yeah.
So that's where their challenge comes in.
Yeah, it must be really nice to have moved out of GTM into LMP2, mate. We've got Bramblean come towards the line. Is he going to improve? Yes, he does. He does improve. Now, that wasn't an illegal lap. I won't shy about it. He was illegal through the chicane. But
it was faster.
Most importantly, it was faster by 0.4 of a second, was P7 Bramblean. So we are definitely seeing some improvements now. So keep your eye on this session. We have 2 cars out on intermediates as well, which is the number 2 Northern Light Racing and the number 101 Atlantic Motorsport. Now, that tactic doesn't work for your LMP categories, really. I don't know if it works in LMP2. Does it work in LMP2? Do winters work?
I've not tried it. I've always just saw, there's rain, wet. Okay, solved.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if you look at people in LMP2, the people that have been qualifying well have always been on wets in these situations, so
yeah,
I can't see it being a thing that actually works.
Either way, the 0-2 core team car, very importantly, moves itself into the top 10. That means they're confirmed, not confirmed, that's a wrong word. They're in the Room 1 position at the moment, but this will all chop and change as the session goes on, as long as the conditions stay as they are. Every car needs to be out on track now. They need to be on timed laps. There's no wasting around here. You need to be out there because this track's going to get faster and faster unless it rains again.
Put in 5 laps of fuel and just go.
Exactly. Because the last thing that you want... Nico Barkley up to second place, a 10th off of Niki Jakovic. That's important.
Vires start sweating.
Vires do start sweating indeed. It was also the 113 rare car that moved up into 3rd position as well. But yeah, you don't want to be in the pit lane at this moment because, as I say, if you are on an outlap or something like that when the track's at its best and then it rains, you are going to be kicking yourself because that would cost you your chance to get through into Room 1. And no one wants that. As Boyd Bryson for Flatline moves himself up into 3rd position. So this qualifying spicing it up, Mr. Oscar Hardwick.
Yeah, looking here as well. Niki Jakovic, seeing what he's going to produce for us. Again, it always looks so composed when he's driving forward.
Yeah, there he goes. It's going to be a big one. 58.2, 1.3 seconds faster than anyone else. I will also note the car that we've been talking about a little bit, Kevin Heinen in the Scuderia Leone, is in 12th position, but more importantly, in the pit lane. Why? I have no idea. However, that's where they are. As Marius Nikolai, whoa, that's a ballsy move. Atlantic Motorsports, number 101, soft tyres. That is the wrong call.
He stopped immediately. He's gone out and gone, sorry.
That was the wrong call. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah, it's still wet.
Yes.
It's still very
Just
wet.
because it's drying up. And it may look like there's a fairly nice dry line. There's not a nice dry line. Wets will be the best for these conditions. I'm pretty sure as Miroslav Davidovic is around at T1. But yeah, who's that? That is the number 370 ZDB car, Competition car that moves itself up into 9th position. So more improvements as Bramblean leaves the final corner. Is he going to improve? Currently in 8th position. I think he's on an outlap. Never mind. Oh, shut up. He's on an outlap. But yeah, this qualifying, we've got just under 6 minutes to go. Can anyone beat Niki Jakovic to this pole position? I'm going to fundamentally say no.
It's not going to happen, is it?
No, it was... the 03 core car moves up to 7th. Good shout from him.
They're not doing too bad, are they, Core, today?
Core are doing all right, yeah. They've obviously they've got 3 cars. This boy Bryson
within the second now.
Good lap. 1:59.249 moves up, still just under a second off of Niki Jakovic. More importantly, though, 2nd place. I'm sure he'll take that, and as well as his teammates, they'll be taking that. I'm pretty sure pretty sure Boyd normally qualifies his car.
Never mind.
Oh wow, that is a mega lap. 2.2 seconds clear of
and
the
it started
field,
raining again.
Jakovic. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a mega lap.
That's upsetting to everyone else.
Again, this is what we're talking about. You need to be out on track, on the right tyres, at the right time. Mess about, and it'll cost you. Niki Djakovic has just pulled off. I think he's going to walk away. Drop the mic and step... Oh, he's coming out. I would have dropped the mic and walked away.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to... Well, he probably won't go quicker, seeing as the rain seems to have started falling again.
Yeah.
Kevin Heinen, he's left this so late.
It's too late.
He needs for it to not rain much more this lap. And
He's
even
left
then,
it too late.
he can't afford errors, and there are people coming out of pit lane.
Yeah.
I mean, really throwing Scuderia Leone's chances away.
Francola. Sorry, yeah, you're absolutely right. This Kevin Heinen is not good. He's absolutely not good. He's left it too late, and this could potentially cost the team. P2, the number 151 Area 51 Team 1 car goes up to second position. As I was saying, Francola moved up into 7th for the 028 Gilles Racing team. So there is potential improvement. Bram Bielen goes to second position. So there is still time in the track.
Only half a second off as well for Bram.
Oh,
so
it's not bad.
Really rapid laps there.
It's not bad. So I'm still going to call it that the Scuderia Leone car is leaving us a bit late, but you know, we'll wait to judge that properly, I guess, until the end of the session. But 3.5 minutes to go, and this order is already moving about quickly. As Nico Barkley onto pole position, 0.08 of a second.
That's why Djakovic went back out.
Yeah, he needs to get that move on. But yeah, Nico Barkley for Atlantic, currently on your pole position. Of course, changing over from Overstep. Never had a pole position, this team. Looking good now.
Yeah.
8,000,
again.
so I wouldn't say that's looking great, is it?
Well, it's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
There's 3 whole minutes. It could be 10th in 3 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know this, this at least on your live timing boards.
The rain's just started quite heavy again, though.
First to 10th is separated by 3.4 seconds. If the rain holds off just enough, then we may have some more improvements.
Currently following Heinen through the final quarter. He's so much slower than Djakovic at the moment. You can see it. I mean, I can't see this being enough for the top 10. He's moved over. Why has he moved over? Oh, dear.
He does improve to 7th, though. Oh, fuel. Was that fuel?
Was that fuel? Forgive me, but that would be really silly if it was.
That would be, for one, really silly if it was fuel. For two, really silly if he exceeded the track and tried giving the time back, because that won't adjust the qualifying, because that will still be a cut.
Either way, Blocker has an off in the final corner. Up
in 7th position at the moment. And I believe that was...
Bielen to pole.
Bielen. 0.4 of a second. A little bit of a draft there from Jeppe Rasmussen. But yeah, onto provisional pole position for SRVN. It'll be their second pole of the year if they do take it. Of course, back in the wet conditions at Fuji, as Piso in the 106 Scuderia GT Italia. That'll actually be one of their best qualifyings of recent time. He's in 5th at the moment. Is that 106 car?
Yeah, currently I'm watching Djakovic and Barkley. Barkley's just gone onto a lap, and Djakovic is halfway round one. These guys, yeah, and Davidovic, to be fair, who's also been going rapidly as the rain does start coming down a bit.
Yeah. Carlos, sorry, that was a bit of an improvement. I'm shocked to see that. Sorry, the 370 ZDB Competizione car goes up to 5th. Carry on, Oscar.
Djakovic has binned it.
That'll be important. He's got one more lap to go. Is he getting any damage? Did he hit anything?
Let me just quickly bring up the replay here.
Ooh.
No, he didn't hit anything. He just he span it on the Astro.
Okay, so he could still improve provided it's dry enough, but you'd kind of be pushing at that as being a no. As someone joins the server, it's Offermans is just joining the server. That's fair enough.
A rejoin.
Yeah. Are we going to see any more improvements? Barkley in the pit lane.
Davidovic
second. Djakovic to the line, obviously not going to improve, but going to start his final lap of the session. Miroslav Davidovic did move himself up into 2nd position. Who was that who just moved up? That was the 02 core team up into the top 10.
And again, Scuderia Leone on the bubble.
Yeah, 11 seconds. This could be
This is their last lap.
He's not going to... No, that's it. He's not going to get through that final corner and up towards the line. So this is it. For the core team, for Scuderia Leone rather, is this going to be an improvement into the further... No,
nope.
It was... No.
Outlap.
That was an outlap. What a mistake! What a mistake, a team maker.
So they very much could have thrown that one up the road.
I think they may have
Oh,
done.
Pizzo to pole.
Pizzo to pole. 106 Scuderia GT Italia car by just under a tenth of a second. A tenth separates the top three.
We've missed Brautigam. Sorry for the pronunciation there, sir. Up to fourth in the meantime as well with his final lap.
Niki Jakovic in sixth.
Yeah, I know at the beginning we said that they had never been lower than second.
Yeah.
Hey, commentator's curse.
Carrascosa around the final corner, though. The 370 ZDB Competizione car to the line. Is this going to be an improvement? No, it is not. Who's next? Is it Jakovic? Is off. Jakovic is off.
He's done it again. I believe that's the same mistake, is it? Oh, no, he's lost it in the Schumacher S's.
Schumacher
Oh,
S's.
dear.
Which
What a fall from grace for Jakovic that session.
I will say, Bram Bielen is still on a lap. This will be his fourth timed lap on this set of tyres.
I would be surprised if this will be an improvement.
I would be as well, but it is still
He was
counting.
0.6 off the lap before.
Yeah. Offermans is out on track, although I'm pretty sure that's an out lap. We'll check that up as we go. The next one to complete the lap will be the 02. Yeah, the 02 core team car, the Plaver, who's slowish through. I don't know what actually a GT is supposed to look like through that chicane.
Not too slow through there, but certainly not improvement pace, I wouldn't think.
This is too heavy rain as well. Look at the rain.
Yeah, it's coming down now.
I doubt.
In fact, Bielen's given up on his lap.
Yeah, this won't be anything. Let's have a look as he crosses the line. 2:05.1. No. So Bielen's
went
also
away.
pulled over. Track did go away at the end there, but that is Scuderia GT Italia on your pole position. I believe they actually did technically have pole position back at Silverstone, but had that removed.
Yes.
Due to track limit excursions. So as we get ready for GT-AM, it is Scuderia GT Italia on your provisional pole position ahead of SRVN. And of course, a lot of conversations need to be had after that. And I'm thinking a lot of people made a couple of mistakes then. We're out on the track at the wrong time. So I'm sure things will need to be adjusted. Of course, GT-AM has normally given us some quite good qualifying sessions. We had some good ones at Spa, although it did get a bit boring towards the end. I'm sure it wasn't boring for you, though, was it, buddy?
We enjoyed Spa. Although I suspect that this session will be a dark racing wash at the front, but of course their Ferraris aren't too quickly.
Let's have a look. That's interesting. There's only been one repeat pole sitter in this category. And that was, have a guess, Oscar. What was
Is it
the
Adam
repeat?
Taylor?
No.
Revolution?
Nope. Oh, this is a good guessing game, this is. You get one more guess and I'll tell you.
I don't know.
Scuderia GT Italia. They had pole position at the first round of the season. They also had a pole position at Interlagos as the rain gets very heavy. Dark Racing's only pole position, shockingly, of the season, despite being the championship leaders. They had pole position back at Fuji. And then it has been Magenta Warriors at Spa, Talking Door Racing at Sebring, and then it was Atlantic Motorsports previous time out.
Out of interest, how many of the pole positions have been Ferraris?
Scuderia GT Italia 31 is a Ferrari.
Yep.
Dark Racing's a Ferrari.
Yep.
Magenta Warriors is a Viper. Talking Door Racing's a Ferrari, and Atlantic Motorsports is a Corvette.
Is it in AM?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Corvette.
Fair enough.
Of course, Dark Racing did bounce back up in the previous round up into the Championship League. They took it back away from the number 31 Scuderia GT Italia with a race win at Istanbul. Don't forget they had a disqualification all the way back in Interlagos.
Yes.
So, yeah, their season's bouncing back nicely. They've currently got a 5-point lead. And then you've got a good battle for third here at the moment. You've got... oh, wow, that's a lot of teams pretty close together. You've got 4 teams within 11 points. And even then,
yeah, not bad.
There's only 4 points back to the next team and only 2 points back to the next team from that. It's your top 3, though, are Dark Racing on the 845 car, Scuderia GT Italia, the 31, and the 033 of Revolution Racing. I distinctly remember the 548 car, the other dark racing car, had a really good qualifying back in Istanbul. They're actually lined up on the front row. Had that removed with track excursions, and ended up the 548 car started second in class, and the 845 car started fourth in class. That is a really big mouthful to say those numbers. Can we stop having triple digits? It's
Yeah.
just
There are less than 100 cars in the series, therefore less than 100 numbers. Thanks.
Oh dear. But people want to have the 7 number, so they'll have 707 and 007.
Next season, I'm going to enter my cars under the number 1 and the number 00.
Oh no, you are not.
Has the no rain at all at the moment as the cars enter track for GTEM qualifying.
And yeah, currently we still have Djakovic and Bryson still there, but I'm pretty sure they'll be departing. There's the rain.
There we go.
Oh, there's no rain. It's sinking. It's sinking.
Oh,
it's sinking about it. Do you get the joke?
You're hilarious. I wish I was
Thank you.
as funny as you are.
Thank you. 25 minutes ahead of the drivers for GTM qualifying, and who will be on pole position again. Let's say 5 different pole sitters in this category over the season. Now, which one is going to be up there? Is there going to be a repeat pole position? Is it going to be a new pole position? I know there's a few teams that are feeling fairly confident out there.
It'd be Adam Taylor, I reckon. I know Pinto was quicker than him actually earlier, so maybe Nuno Pinto. Speaking of which, Nuno Pinto and Dragos Harbour turning up into the server this time, surprised to see other GT cars, presumably.
They've actually turned up in the right session this time. Hopefully that is a mistake they won't make again, because that's not a fair one. But
it's not like they're going to have opportunity to make.
Maybe all of the LMP1 cars should just randomly join this server.
Yeah.
See if they like.
No, if you're listening, he's a bad influence. Don't listen to him.
It's because you've got one of your drivers in this field, of course. Reece Gardner currently in 6th position, the number 42 car, which we're not totally biased towards. Don't worry. Oscar is though. But yes, you are right about Pinto. Now in the right server and pretty decent on pace at the moment. As I say, qualified second at the previous round as Reece Gardner nearly smashed into the back of him. Oh, that was close. Again, everyone just needs to drive at about, 45% on the out lap and then like 90% on the time lap. You don't want to drive at 100, not on your first lap.
I would argue that 110% on your first lap works, because it's what I did.
Yeah, but if you did 110% on your outlet, then you might have cut. And then if you cut and had that pole removed, how would you feel? Well, you wouldn't care because you're not driving the car in the race. Never mind. I'll shut up.
Yeah, like, worst case scenario, we get put in server 2 where the points are easier to get.
Oh. It's true.
So, yeah, it was sort of a case of glory or burst. So...
Well, why not? Why do, you've been really good at putting your team in a bad position and then departing.
Only a few times.
I'm specifically talking about your GTM mate at Fuji, and then going, "Nah, I'm driving the LMP2 next round to you."
I did it satellite racing last season when I missed DHR. Got them a few penalties and walked away.
It's a common thing for you, mate.
I know. I take entertainment in my work. You know.
You're a grade A bomb.
Yay.
And I don't mean atom.
Do you not?
No.
What do you mean, Lewis? Do tell.
No, we've said enough on this broadcast. It's not supposed to be said. We'll hold back. We can
discuss it after.
We can discuss it after. As the rain is falling a little bit heavy now, so these laps will be very important, and hopefully we'll not go through a 25-minute session of absolutely nothing happening.
That would be unfortunate. Although, it was nice to see in the GT Pros that it all came back towards the end.
That's always a good feeling, isn't it? Where it all comes back towards the end. Do you know who the first car out on track is? I think it's Taylor.
Probably.
Of course, Taylor.
It's the way you want to be.
It is absolutely the way you want to be. Adam Taylor, recent race winner over in the Virtual GT Championship. And of course, I have no idea where he finished in the Porsche Super Cup, even though I commentated on it. I didn't commentate on the Virtual GT Championship.
He finished in...
This is not even you remember, you drove it. I think it was top 5?
Second? And
I have no idea.
4th.
Are you guys on the provisional poll? He is currently the only
Poll
person to have
poll
set
time
time.
set. Poll time set. Confirmed.
59.9. That is not bad when you consider the next lap time through is a 21.2.
21.
21. Damn.
Oh, and look.
2-minute one. And yeah, Pinto up on a 2-minute point 2. I'm sorry, not a 21.
Shocking turn of events. GTM takes pole overall.
Oh dear. I can't read numbers, mate. But yes. Oh, look at that. Someone has beat Pinto. It's Dragos Haba. I can't see if that's an A or an O because I'm not running this in the right resolution. Okay. Cool. Talking Door Racing. Is that the bright yellow one? Yeah, it is. It's the sun. It's driving around. It does seem a bit darker around here, that yellow car. It seems really bright at Sebring, exceeding track limits there on the exit of 4. It was fixed, apparently. Okay, well, I thank whoever fixed that, Jimmy. We're talking about the Talking Door bright yellow sun car, of course. I don't know if this rain is getting a bit too heavy for these guys now. Like, if those first laps are going to be the ones that count.
I'm not seeing much rain at all.
Are you not?
No. Oh, I am now. Never mind.
Yeah, okay. Cool. I say we'll see as it progresses. And if we're not going to get any improvements, I'll just quickly flick through the top 10. It's Dark Racing on provisional pole position ahead of Talking Door Racing, the bright yellow one. Dark Racing's second car, the 548 car, in third position, so a second good qualifying for them. Then it's James Wilson for Atlantic Motorsports on his return to VC. Of course, hasn't actually driven since Spa, I think. James Wilson's been out of the car. Then it's Feedersport Poland in 5th, Revolution in 6th, KSM Sim Racing Team in 7th, Vodball Racing in 8th, who have failed to get in the last 2 occasions into Room 1, looking to get through into this time and looking fairly strong to do so this time as well. Scuderia GT Italia in 9th position, and then the Race Weekend Team in 10th. Unfortunately, your boy's outside of the top 10.
He is, but I'm pretty sure that he'll get in based on Dragos Harbour's current line.
Oh, right, okay then.
So, not too concerned. But again, I'm half suspecting the rain to subside slightly and for it to go quick at the end, so...
We will keep hope.
Certainly don't want to call anything yet.
We will keep hope with that. As I say, I also it'll be nice to do the Virtual Touring Car Championship in a game with no rain.
Guaranteed weather.
Guaranteed dry, nice. That'd be good. I say, just nice and dry. That's what I want from a series sometimes, is just for it to be dry.
Do you not enjoy the rain? The Wayne.
The Wayne.
No, you're not enjoying the Wayne.
Oh dear. No, I'm not really a gigantic fan of Dwayne.
Words are going away from me quite quickly at the moment.
Yeah. We've got Reece Gardner out of the final corner. We'll see if he does actually improve. All right, I'll shut up then.
Yeah. I can't see anyone improving at the moment. It's quite a bit wetter than it was on that opening lap.
So I'll ask you a question which almost feels like it's stating the obvious, but still. Do you come to these sessions with a strategy, a set strategy, or is it literally just make it up as you go along?
I remember at Spa I had to whisper in big capital letters strategy to Eric.
Yes, didn't you W/ that one?
Might have been that one.
Or was that... No, I think that was Fuji.
I've no idea. But with Eric, he decided to run around behind a slow car for a lap. And then and I was just like, brake, give room, brake. Because otherwise you go onto a lap and you blow it because you're stuck behind a slower driver. So, not really. When it's raining, it's go out, do laps. When it's dry, it's go out, do laps. There's not much strategy to qualifying.
You do have to order Eric around. He doesn't really know what he's doing, does he?
No, not often. He's very, very fast. He's a very accomplished driver. That's the extent of it, basically.
Yeah. It's alright, we can talk... We can talk badly about him because he's not here.
He'll give me an earful for it later, I'm sure.
Will he? I don't think he'll watch.
I'm sure. I think he is. I'm not sure.
Well, no, because he's in some city buying a car.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Back on topic. Still no real improvement
Exactly.
out on the circuit.
This is why we go off topic.
Yeah, this is why we're off topic. Nothing's happening. That said, it looks like there's a bit less rain at the moment, so could see times coming back.
We will. I think a good thing to do would be to check sector splits. We've got Reece Gardner coming around the final corner.
It's looked like a good lap.
His sector splits, his first sector's a 10th off, his second sector's a 10th off, his final sector will be...
A 10th off?
A 10th off. But nearly 2 tenths off. But his
Right.
lap time there was about 4 tenths slower, showing that the track's kind of there. It's kind of, it's not fully there, but it's kind of there. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As everyone actually is heading back out on track again. So
yeah, I think people are seeing the slightly lower rain and deciding to go out, or actually to give us some mild form of entertainment. So you know, we don't talk about random
cars
stuff.
on track. Cough. F1. Cough.
Well, you see, the thing is we have infinite tyres, don't we? So
Yeah. Although it's worth pointing out, infinite tyres that degrade somewhat quicker than real ones.
they do degrade very quickly, don't they?
Yes.
But maybe that's the fun of it.
Is that the word? Oh, it's looking sunny at some points of the track at the moment.
It is looking pretty nice out there, isn't it?
And in fact, someone's gone quicker. I can't tell you who, because Reece Gardner has been displaced down to 12th spot now.
Oh, I got really excited because I looked over onto my other screen where my live timing was. It said Reece Gardner was in 4th. I was like, oh! No. Yes, someone's gone faster. Honestly, I can't tell you who it was either. Sorry.
There's another improvement there. I think it might even have been James Johnson.
No, it was Rizzo up into 4th position. Was that? As we've also got Pinto out of the final corner. Is he going to improve? No, he doesn't. It was an outlap. That's why. Cool. Oh, I should really shut up sometimes.
How's it? Oh, outlap. Oh, it's an outlap.
Shut up.
Stunning display! Outlap.
Thanks, mate.
No problem. Just, helping get the commentary juices flowing.
Is that what they're called? Rain.
Yeah. I know, but the track will have dried slightly, so there's still opportunity for improvement here from a few guys.
Oh, who's that? That was the
Bogush?
Texas driver's car. Marsili up into 4th position. As I don't know if he's on a time lap. He's not on a time lap. He escaped. But Reece Gardner had pulled off of a lap there. I'm sure you would have been well impressed if that was a time lap.
Yeah, that wasn't. It's not that.
Yeah, it's fine. Sorry, I was taking a breather.
Watching.
Is he just fully focused on
Yes.
your car?
I'm allowed to have bias. I'm the team manager.
No, man, you're not allowed to have bias. You would shout at James Wilson in a minute for being 2 kilometres up the road.
No, it's fine.
Also, to talk about James Wilson, on that lap, he did actually improve himself up into 4th position, so showing some very good pace at this moment in qualifying. Currently, though, 9 tenths off of pole position, so a long way off indeed. Who's the next one to complete?
Ferrari club up at the front in a shocking turn of events.
Oh, quit your Jim Jam. It is the number 3. Nope, not a clue. It says the wrong number on the back. Cool. Someone crossed the line. Guess what? Oh no, it was a time lap. It was actually improvement as well. It was the P12. Did actually cross the line. Improve. Didn't improve position though. As is anyone improving there? No, we've got a few people starting their laps. I think it's almost as if they're reacting to some of this a bit too late.
Ooh, Johnson's pole.
Sorry. Okay. Well, not everyone's reacting it too late. Good job, JJ. James Johnson onto provisional pole position. My live timing just not updating with that, so that's cool. But yes, James Johnson on pole at the moment for VOD Bull Racing. That is a 2nd clear of P2. He did say that they've got confidence in that BMW in these conditions. It is probably a more usable condition of that car, same as the Viper back in Spa. These conditions are slightly more friendly to it.
But yeah, it's the thing with the Viper is, and probably the BMW as well, it's specifically changeable.
It's not good in full wet and it's not good in full dry, but if you can find it somewhere in the middle, it's quite a fast car. As Dragos Harbour improved to second place.
And also Enzo Fazzi moved up to 8th. So yes, people are finding time. And with 10 and a bit minutes to go, can anyone take pole position off of James Johnson? I distinctly remember once, quite recently, he took a pole position, then decided now was a good idea to go and sit in pit lane, and then 3 people came along and beat him. Not his smartest move. But looking strong at the moment, of course. All of these lap times will be tumbling.
Again, ones to watch, Taylor and Pinto of Dark Racing. Michele Rizzo very much within striking distance for GT Italia as well.
Anyone's in striking distance on these kind of conditions. You never really know who's going to be able to sneak in a fast lap here or there. Oh, my live timing is really annoying me. It's not auto-refreshing. Oh, that's 15th place, Josh, out of the... apologies. That is, the Rev Sim Racing car completely sideways out of the final corner.
Yeah?
It's very tricky for these guys to get... Because this is the thing, right? And you know it. You've been on this kind of lap before as well, where you've been on such a good lap and you know it's a good lap. And then you get to the final corner and it's just like, all right, now easy on the power, and then you slide. And just spin around or whatever. It's very frustrating.
I've not done that recently. As Taylor does improve, although only very marginally.
Yeah, when was the last time you did that? What, Super Cup? Although you never did that in qualifying.
No, not in qualifying, just in the race.
It's just in the races where you threw away a championship. Cool. Don't worry, never let you forget that one.
It's fun.
You lie. I'm just trying to find out where the cars are on track. A lot of these people are starting to escape and get some fresh rubber and come out. It's got 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Adam Taylor's one of those people. Reece Gardner's one of those people.
Big incident. Rizzo down into the heaven at the bottom of the circuit. Caught out by someone slowing down, conveniently, right on the racing line. Exactly where you should do it. That was Straponi.
Oh, yeah, that was a very smart move. That was pretty damn. And a shame for Rizzo. What could have been, obviously, definitely a pole time. Let's actually have a look. His first sector was a 10th faster, so I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that.
Yeah.
We've got Pinto and Harbour coming through the final corner. I'm pretty sure it's time lap for both of them, although not 100%. Pinto doesn't improve. Harbour doesn't improve as an out lap, funny enough.
For both. Oh, this is an excellent game.
Shut up, mate. I'm just trying to find people that are like on laps and then they're not on laps.
James Johnson's just started a lap.
Ooh! Bogush has made a mistake at the final chicane. That was, and that'll be a shame for him because it was an out lap.
Who's that? Oh, Tommaso Tortea just improved up to 6th place.
To 6th place, yes. I will also say I'm pretty sure this lap from James Johnson's illegal already. I'm fairly sure I saw him run wide over the T2 exit, as much as he won't have gained time.
The lap.
Yeah. So yeah, this will be... It's tricky because it's dry enough for you to want to push, but you know, it's still too wet that you can't really. You need to be patient with the car and stuff like that. 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And the top 10, albeit going to change drastically over this period, I feel. Vodball Racing head the order from Talking Door Racing, the 2 Dark Racing cars. Then it's Scuderia GT Italia, ROTW Racing Team moved themselves very recently up into 6th place. Atlantic Motorsport in 7th. Texas Drivers in 8th. Revolution in 9th. And Feeder Sport Poland in 10th position. And can anything be done about this order as the rain continues to fall here at Nurburgring?
I think this session's been a lot more difficult to judge for the drivers. The weather's been a little more sporadic than we've seen. So...
Yeah, it's been a little bit all over the place, isn't it? So it's always tricky to judge when it's dry and it starts raining a bit, and it's the slight bits of rain that catch you out. These are the conditions where you just need to stick on some slicks. Stick on some wets.
Yeah,
get
stick
out
on some slicks, everybody.
Ask Nikolai how well that went in the last session. James
out
Johnson
the pit lane,
to the line does a 2:02.7, so he obviously realised that lap was illegal and made sure to pull off it. Although coming down into the first turn's got some traffic this lap. Rizzo in 5th position presently is going quickly, leaving the Heavy. He's currently 3/10 up nearly on his best. Of course, getting caught out by someone slowing down, and needs to make this Ferrari as fast as possible and move himself up onto potentially pole position. We'll have a look. See, currently quite a way off, 1.3 seconds off of pole position, and runs way too wide out of that corner. That's not illegal, as far as I'm aware.
Not out there, no.
But that did cost him some time.
Not quicker. There's no grip at all out on the Astro.
No.
Even in the wet conditions, it's still hopeless.
Adam Taylor to 2nd place, 6
very close.
Hundredths, as Rizzo pulls off of that lap. 600ths off of pole position. So, yeah, very, very close.
Pinto might be on a lap. Could be an outlap, though.
Let me have a look. He's on a lap. He's not on a lap.
Being
I have no
followed
idea.
by
Never judge me. He's not on a lap.
Rocco Rost,
He's not on the lap, don't worry.
who I earlier today described as a budget Rene Rast.
A budget Rene Rast.
Gardner's up into 9th. Woohoo!
Gardner does improve himself up into 9th on the previous time round of 2:01.2, 2.3 seconds off of the pace. Pulls off this lap, has nearly 4 minutes to go of the session. There's really not long left for these boys. And again, you know, we've spoken about this before on plenty of occasions, that you need to make sure that you're in room 1 or you've got a decent car for room 2 to give yourself enough points for that top 10 for Le Mans.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's not a fun place to be. Like, this is probably the first, shall we call it, crunch time race of the season.
Yeah.
Where people are legitimately thinking about points, their effect, what it's going to do to their future races and things such as that. So,
do you want to know who's on the bubble of GTM getting the top 10 for Le Mans?
It's us. I know it's us.
You're in 11th. 1.5 points off.
Oh. Miles away, isn't it? Who's that behind?
What?
Who's
Gardner?
in 10th?
Oh, 10th. Fazzy. Oh,
the points.
Oh, no, sorry. In the points, Texas drivers. The 67 car. He now urgently flicks through live timing to find the 67 Texas drivers cars. He's in 8th at the moment. It's so amusing to see you stressed out as a team manager. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Adam Taylor pulls off of his lap. Is he going to escape? Yeah, he's going to escape and go get some fresh tyres and try again.
New boots.
It's always good to try some new boots.
Has he got his new shoes on and everything's feeling all right?
Don't even.
No?
No. I have no idea what you're quoting there.
Someone will.
Potentially.
Someone will. It's okay, as long as someone appreciated it.
Pinto to the line, though. In 4th place, probably an outlap, although it can't be an outlap. I'm pretty sure he's on a time 1. Is he going to improve? No. It was a time lap, though. It was a timed lap.
He got there eventually.
Oh, dear. James Wilson completes an outlap and starts potentially... Well, that will be his final lap. I'd almost say that that's the wrong time to start it because you're at the wrong end of the clock, but you never really
You just need to start it when you can.
Yeah, you
find
never really
some
know.
air and go. It's a bit too difficult as an individual driver judging the gaps and the timings, really.
Yeah, it's you just need to get out there and drive because you never know when the rain's going to come again, if the rain does come again. So if you do time yourself a lap right at the end that then doesn't come to fruition, then you've cost yourself. And yeah, it's a very easy thing to do. James Johnson, though, has called it quits. He's not bothered. So I say the last time he did that, he cost himself pole. So you never know. They obviously did qualify in Room 1 back in Sebring, but had a track limit excursion to their name that moved them outside of Room 1. Quite a painful way to go out of Room 1, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh dear, never mind. Yeah, it's not a good way to go.
Reece Gardner's escaped from his lap, so he will start 9th and potentially no better.
At best.
Course. Well, I say potentially at best. Because, you never know. People track limit excursions and stuff like that. Adam Taylor, though, through the final corner, 600s off of pole position. Will he improve onto it? To the line.
Nope.
It's an outlap.
Outlap.
We're really bad at this. I'm really bad at this. His teammate, though, Pinto, slides his way through the final corner. And is he going to start the lap? Oh, that's close. I don't know if he did that. That timer hit 0 as he's on the time lap.
Is
wow. He? Yep, that counts. He has not hit the checkered flag.
Grats.
That was
well done.
The closest
That was timed.
I've ever seen it. Well done. He will be the last one then to cross the line for us, as pretty much everyone is just finishing up their laps. I'm not sure if anyone will improve.
I'm a bit staggered that worked.
I'm amazed as well. I would have thought it would have caught him out and gone, no,
so we've got Taylor and Pinto on laps.
Tatia on laps.
Baleo, who could threaten the top 10. Josh Hoare, who could threaten the top 10.
Around is Straponi, who's coming up towards the final corner now.
He's not been massively inspiring this session, so I can't see it being a massive improvement.
Is that something to do with the Rizzo incident?
It
doesn't
helped.
improve.
Charles Baccio.
No improvement there. Yeah, Baccio will be the next. No, Bailo will be the next one. Baccio's gone completely wide at the chicane. Bailo to the line. No improvement. 1.1 seconds off of his best, so you kind of feel that
to the line,
this isn't going to work. You kind of feel this is not going to work for Taylor or Pinto, and it.
Tortilla did improve.
Did he?
No, he didn't.
Taylor into the pit lane. He's called it. Now, Pinto will be the last one. It's not a good first sector. It's not a good second sector. This is not going to be an improvement. It's not going to be it. Which means James Thompson.
Pole position. BMW.
Potentially the first BMW pole position of the season. The first pole position for them. Of course, they're pretty much the only BMW. But that does finish us up for GTM qualifying. Provisionally.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Of course, do remember to keep an eye on the Virtual Endurance Championship Facebook and, of course, Sim Racing Club's forum if you're taking part. And await, I think it's about 2 or 3 days until the official order will be up. Remember, all of this that you've seen today has been provisional. And, of course, don't forget to sign up to some leagues over in SRC because we always like a few more numbers.
A few more friendly faces.
Absolutely. A few more people for this guy to bash off in the Touring Car League. Right, Oscar?
Absolutely.
Right. So I'm pretty sure that rounds us up and, of course, return in a week's time where we hit the 6 hours of Nurburgring, the penultimate round of Season 8. The round before the 24 hours of Le Mans in about a month and a bit's time. So until next time, it's been a pleasure. And it's been Lewis McGlade and Oscar Hardwick on commentary for you today and Jimmy Allison on cameras as always. And so until next time, goodbye.